what's happening, YouTube? So look at me once again. I'm sitting in the garland pose, and oh man, I need to sit in this pose today after the workout I put myself through. It feels great. Oh man, so look, I'm sitting in deep, which means I'm arching my back, my glutes are getting a stretch, and I'm also, with my elbows, I'm pulling my knees apart, and so I'm getting a stretch in the groin and hip area, and my knees are getting a stretch, ankles, and I have to remember to push my wrist down so that I get a stretch there. So I get an extended stretch, which is amazing for the joints and so many other benefits. And so let's get to the topic, which is the deep down proponent of defense. And so this is going to require me to speak slow because it's quite deep. And I need to use an example first that I think makes a really good example, which is an alcoholic. If someone has a issue drinking and we tell them, oh, you need to cut it out, stop drinking, that doesn't work. And if we already know they've tried to cut it out, they try to taper down, they try to have water in between drinks, they try all these methods, but they can't. And so the idea to just, hey, stop drinking is just something that doesn't work. What they do need is either a rude awakening and a spiritual awakening, or both. The rude awakening is when they lose everything, they're freaking all sick and life crashes on them and they have no choice but to get help. That's the rude awakening. The spiritual awakening is when they get hit with this new realization that changes them, but instantly. And so this idea, without me getting deep, because that's a very, very freaking deep topic within itself, but I saw that it's the same thing with food problems. Someone has a food problem, you tell them, oh, eat half. This is what all these chats are all about. Trying to look so deep into the matter of the programming, the matter of cultural upbringings and traditional upbringings and society's input. You know, the commercials, the food manufacturers that sell us the foods that we eat. We need to look at all that stuff because I'm produced by all that stuff. So then at the end, it's me as culture, is me as tradition, is me as society, and I'm playing that out. And so to get to the root of me, I need to think way outside from what we're doing. We're playing the game of we know what to do, and we spew these little things like eat less, calorie deficit, calories in, calories out, and then 5 years from now, we're back in the mess talking about the exact same thing over and over and over and over. And so I'm trying to cut that out. And so this deep proponent of defense is that it's my life. Like the drinker. When you take the drink away, that's his life. That's his companion. And so if I ate 20 years a certain way and I'm used to it, and now I'm saying I have to lose weight because I'm sick, the battle within it is the convenience and it's the security. So I'm going to now defend that. And that's what it is. I'm starting to notice that whenever I talk to someone that needs to lose weight and we get really serious, the defense comes in and they say, oh, well, I got to think about it. I'll start, after the new year, or you know what, I'm going to take a vacation and on vacation. And then they start that, which is to postpone because there's safety in postponing. Right there, I'm free. Like if I'm the one that is having trouble with weight issues and I see that we're getting into a serious talk and that now I have to make a serious change, I'm gonna defend it now because I'm way too close to these comforts It secures me, but it's deep down. We don't really talk about that part. We talk on the surface, like, oh yeah, I need to lose weight, you know, it's like, and we may play around with it and dip and dab, but it's not deep where, like me, going on 7 years, my ideal weight, watching it very carefully and doing these talks to actually iron out all these things and look at things in a way that I've never did before. And so this defense was the missing piece that I needed to talk about, and I think I'm doing a good job, because in there you can see it. Now I understand the excuses. Now I understand, oh, I'm not going to deprive myself, because in one breath we're talking about, you know, managing our weight, and then in another breath the excuses, but the excuses comes in as part of the defense, because there's way too much convenience, way too much comfort, way too much pleasure. I have to give that up now. I'm not gonna give that up. I got the freaking answer of why it's so freaking difficult and why someone has to actually face the end road before they go ahead and say, you know what, I'm fed up. Like now, in retrospect, almost 7 years ago, I was fed up. And when I looked in the mirror, I was disgusted. And all I could do was look at myself and say, how did I let myself go? I turned to Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I turned to a whole bunch of other influencers to see what the hell I can do to make sure that this diet this time and this fitness attempt wasn't gonna be just a few weeks or a few months and then gain all that weight back again. I said, I can't do that again. And so, how deep is this defense? It's so deep that it took me to speak to a few people after topic number 7, which is, are we really talking about diet? Because, you know, I realize that we're not really talking diet. Someone comes to me and they say, I need to lose weight. And I go, okay, well, let's get down. Come on, let's go to the gym. Oh, I ain't got time. And so, okay, now we're not talking about diet and exercise. We started for a second. As soon as there was the mode for action, we popped right out of it. We protected. Like, I'm not ready yet. I'll diet when I need to. I'm fine. Everything's okay, and I could be sick. Oh, don't worry about it. You know what? I'm gonna live. You know, it's about joy. And meanwhile, I'm not doing good. I can't breathe right. My body hurts. All this inflammation. Doctors telling me things that are not so good. And on top of that, I'm willing to defend it because look what you're gonna take away from me. My toasted bread with butter in the morning, and the coffee, and then the pancakes, the bacon, and the sausage, and the pasta, and all my drinks, and the beer, and the cheese. You're gonna take all that away from me. I have to give that up. I have to surrender all that stuff. And even half is a threat. Like if you told me half a hamburger, that's a threat. Because now I can't eat the whole thing. And inside somewhere, there's a defense that's already struggling. Because if I was really excited to lose weight, and you told me, eat half the hamburger, don't worry, bro, just go little by little, I'll be back. If I really wanted to, be like, great, look at the solution. So anyway, I'm going to close with this, that there's a lot of fighting to do, but what I'm trying to do is not fight. I'm trying to see this so clearly that my system already does the battle for me, and that I wake up and, you know, take on a different path automatically without any effort from me. Like, in other words, like, you know, when I see all these factors, I wake up and I have fruit in the morning automatically. And that I do these talks, which help me so much, and that I keep with the exercise program. And that I try, because the struggling, the fighting, oh, eat half, I know that's not going to work. So I'm taking on this whole different path of don't diet, fix the programming to unlock all these aspects, to crush them all, to set them straight, to see them clear. Just like an alcoholic, you know, he gets into the steps and all of a sudden he sees things differently. So I'm trying to do something similar to that, but with food, because it is an addiction. It does require some type of mental, psychological change where I see that and I go, no, I'm not gonna have it. But it's automatic. And so, until the next chat, catch ya.